ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರೂಪಾ ಪಿ ಸಿ. ಸಹಾಯಕ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕಿಯಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಂಕರಾನಂದ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಹೊಸಪೇಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈ ದಿನ ನಾವು ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣದೇವರಾಯ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯ BCom 6ನೇ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ನ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿಷಯದ ಮೊದಲ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯವಾದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆರ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ನ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸೆಷನನ್ನು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಈ ಸೆಷನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆರ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಅದರ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಏನು, ಅದರ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ ಏನು, ಹಾಗೆ ಅದರ ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳು, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಏನು, ಹಾಗೆ ಅದರ ಲಿಮಿಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕೊರತೆಗಳು ಏನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆರ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನೇನು ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸರ್ಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. In order to do the same, it is necessary to follow a particular method of ascertaining cost. Different methods of costing are applied to different industries depending upon the type of manufacture and their nature. Some industries may produce only one product, but it may really be an assembly of numerous components. For example, bicycle, or there may be a homogeneous product involving many distinct stages and processes. For example, vegetable oil. Some firms may undertake work against a definite customer's order, such as printing of a book or construction work, etc. Therefore, it is natural that the exact method employed to ascertain cost per unit should depend on the nature of the industry. So, what are the methods of costing available? First important method is unit or output costing or single costing method. This method is also known as a single or output costing method. This method is employed in those industries where continuous production is carried out and all the manufactured units are identical. This method is adopted in industries such as brick making, flour mills, cloth mills, paper mills, collieries, cement, sugar mill, wine factories, etc. In this method, in order to arrive at a per unit cost of production, the cost statements or cost sheets are prepared and total expenditure is divided by the total quantity produced. Second method of costing is job costing. Job costing is a distinctive method of costing which is in the form of specific order costing, which is adopted to execute the work strictly according to customer specification. The production process depends upon the number of orders received from customers. As such, production is not standardized and intermittent in nature. The goods manufactured are not for stocking but for immediate delivery once it is complete in all respects. So third method of costing is contract costing. Contract costing is defined as that form of specific order costing wherein work is carried out in accordance with the customer's special requirement as distinct from short-term jobs, and each order is of long duration. Contract costing is generally applied by contractors who undertake constructional work and engineering works like roads, dams, buildings, canals, railway lines, bridges, sewage system in a city or town, hospitals, schools or college buildings or private buildings, shipbuilding, etc. So next method is operating costing. Operating costing is also known as service costing. It is a method of ascertaining costs of providing or operating a service. This method of costing is applied by those undertakings which provide services rather than production of commodities. The emphasis under operating costing is on the ascertainment of cost of services rather than the cost of manufacturing a product. This costing method is usually made use by transport industries, gas and water supply departments, electricity supply companies, canteens, hospitals, theaters, schools, etc. So next method is process costing. Process costing is used where the production moves from one process or department to the next until its final completion, and there is a continuous mass production of identical units through a series of processing operations. It is applied where for various industries like chemicals and drugs, oil refining, food processing, paints and varnish, plastics, soaps, textiles, paper, etc. Process costing method may also be adopted in firms that produce variety of products, provided that the overall production process can be broken down into sub operation of a continuous repetitive nature. So these are the 5 main methods of costing. So there are also other methods. So in the syllabus we have only these methods of costing. So first chapter is designed for unit or output costing method. So what is unit or output costing? A unit or output costing is the technique of cost accounting in which the cost of production of a unit of output and total cost of production is ascertained. This method is also known as single costing, as industries adopting this method manufacture in most cases a single variety of product. This method is also known as unit costing, as not only the cost of the total output but also the cost per unit of output is ascertained under this method. Under this method, cost units are identical. This method is also called output costing, as cost is ascertained for the total output of a product. This method is suitable in collieries, cement, paper, sugar, steel, quarries, brickworks and breweries, etc. So the cost units may be expressed in terms of numbers, weights, volume, time, etc. So these are some of the examples for the units of some industries. In mining industry, tons of minerals is the unit of cost. In cement industry, tons of cement is the unit of cost. In steel works, tons of steel. In brick making, 1000 for 1000 bricks we have to calculate. In textile industries, meter of cloth. In biscuit industry, kilogram of biscuits. In collieries, tons of coal raised. In paper mill, tons of paper. In oil drilling, barrel of oil. In dairies, gallon of milk. In breweries, a barrel of beer as a unit of cost. So this next we will study some definitions for unit or output costing. According to Walter W. Big, unit costing method is a method of costing applied to ascertain the cost per unit of production where standard and identical products are manufactured. So this is a method of costing which is applied in the industries where the goods manufactured are identical in nature and they are standard ones. So they are standard one means they are identical ones, and the units are not different from one another. So according to J.R. Bartleby, unit costing or output costing is a method is maybe defined as a singular output cost system which is used in business where a standard product is turned out and it is desired to find out the cost of a basic unit of production. Both the definitions say that the system is applied or adopted in the industry where the goods are identical ones and they are standard ones. So what are the features of unit or output costing? So first feature is unit costing is used in industries where the production is on a large scale. So the industries which produce the goods in large scale can adopt this unit or output costing method. Second feature is industries where units of production are homogeneous. This method is used. So you already studied in the definition itself. The goods are identical ones where this method can be applied. The industries which produce the identical or homogeneous goods can adopt this unit or output costing method. So third feature is cost per unit of production can be ascertained. So the method is adopted to find out the cost per unit of production. Fourth feature is it is used in industries where the production is continuous. So the industries which produce the goods in continuous form, so they are non-intermittent one. So those industries can adopt this costing method. Fifth is this method is used where the units are physical and natural. So all the Physical goods can be which are homogeneous and in a large scale production can adopt the method of this method of costing. Sixth feature is the cost units may be expressed in terms of weight, number, volume and time, etc. So as we have already studied, there are different units of cost for different industries. So they may be in terms of weight or number or volume, etc. So what are the objectives of unit or output costing? So these are the 6 main objectives of unit or output costing. To find out the total cost and cost per unit. Main objective of this method is to determine the total cost and cost per unit of goods produced in a certain period of time. Second is analysis of expenses incurred in cost unit. To analyze element wise total cost and cost per unit of each element unit, unit costing is useful. Cost is divided into 4 parts: prime cost, works cost, cost of production and total cost. So third objective is comparative study. If we want information regarding any increase or decrease in any expense is possible through comparative analysis for the year and years. Over expenses can be controlled and under output costing method by providing data in case of any increase. So fourth objective is to find out percentage of each element of cost to total cost. Under this method, proportionately, share of each element in total cost can be determined. This will help in estimating cost of each element in future. Control can be exercised through this method on the elements having a large amounts. So fifth objective is to find out the selling price and profit. Selling price per unit computed after adding a certain percentage of profit per unit. Profit and loss can be ascertained by comparing the total cost when amount of sales has been given. So sixth one is to find out the tender price. Selling price of a commodity is to be informed to the customer prior to its order, or estimate for a work is to be given termed as tender price. This price is ascertained on the basis of previous year's cost. So next we will study what are the limitations of this unit or output costing. Output or unit costing is not useful to those industries where production is not uniform. As we have already studied, it is adopted in the industry only in the industries where the production is homogeneous. Where the production is not homogeneous or not in uniform, this method cannot be applied. Second limitation is it is not suitable for process production. So process in under the industries which need the process production cannot adopt this method of costing. Third one is it cannot be used by those industries which are engaged in service providing. So the industries which provide services, that is transport industries or hotel industries, cannot apply this method of costing. So fourth one is the secrecy of cost cannot be maintained because the cost is shown in every stage. So while preparing the cost sheet, we show all these cost stage by stage and we break up all the cost, and here we cannot maintain the secrecy. This is one of the drawback of the unit or output costing. So in this session we have discussed about the what is unit or output costing, what are the methods of costing, and what are the features of unit or output costing, and what are the objectives and two definitions, and what are the limitations of cost unit or output costing. Thank you.